Hi guys, my name is Bushy. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a moss pole that works really well in LECA. It's self-watering in LECA, and it stays up by itself for the most part. And you don't need to use ugly zip ties. It's amazing. Okay, here we go. We're starting in 3, 2. How to make your own semi-hydro self-watering moss pole. Please check the video description for a list of materials. Starting off, we're going to cut out the width that we'd like. When I'm using a 1/2 inch grid, I like to count out 9 squares. I like making my moss poles as long as possible because making extensions for them can be a pain, and your plants will dig into them and it will break your heart trying to rip them away from the moss poles. It can be done, but it is difficult, so try to make it as long as possible. Here's an artsy time lapse of me cutting the wire. Now this part is totally optional, but I kind of like to fluff the moss a little bit. I feel like it helps the roots dig in a little bit easier. This is what your wire should look like when you're done. Notice how 3 ends have protruding wires and one of the longer lengths is as smooth as possible. My string is about 3 times the length of the pole, and that's because I want ample string to be hanging out. I'm going to talk about why I do that in a different post. I'm going to lay out the string so that the middle of the string, when I fold it up, lays flush with one end. And then I'm going to start making my spherical shape. I'm making sure that the string is completely surrounded in moss and that it's in the middle of the pole. And I might have to pat down a little bit to make sure that it all gets in. So those protruding wires are for this. I like to use them to lock in or weave up my moss pole. If I just have it going into one of the squares of the other lengths and then bend the wire backwards, I can then free up my hands to continue moving up the pole. I really recommend gloves for this part. I don't know why I'm doing it without gloves. It really hurts. Now that I've done that all the way up the length of my moss pole, I'm going to take my pliers and just really wrap around that protruding wire around the seam of the moss pole. This not only looks better, but it really locks the moss pole into place. And this is what it should look like, correctly twisted up around itself. This is just me going up the length of the moss pole, doing what I've already told you to do. Steps 3 to 5 all the way up. Enjoy more footage. Yeah, I'm still doing the thing I said to do. I guess I could cut out some of this video. I really like to be thorough and show you what I'm doing, I guess. Footage is actually sped up 1,000 times. All right, new content. So here we have the ends of the moss pole, and there's protruding wires here too. I like to fold them in like this. Again, I think it looks really nice, and I also like to think that it keeps the moss inside the pole. Now after putting your moss pole through all that, it's probably going to look a little bit flat. Once you've gotten the protruding edges twisted away real nice, you can squeeze the sides to make it a nice plump shape.
And here it is, all done. The next thing we'd have to do is actually install a plant onto it. Now, the reason why I had the wick be so long is so that you can use the wick to tie the ends of the string through the pot like so. Tying it to the bottom of the pot like this helps with stability. It also makes it so that you can just grab the pole and lift up and the pot will come along with the plant. Make sure the moss and the string is actually in the water reservoir. That is what is going to have it be self-watering. The wick and the moss will soak up water.
Hey guys, that was Bushy. That was my voice in the video. I hope that was helpful, especially if you're a LECA user, regardless of whether you just started or if you've been in the game for a long time. I know that when I first started, I had lots of trouble getting moss poles and towers to work for me. It's also really fun to be able to lift your plant by the pole and shake it around a little bit. Make a bunch of moss poles, get those leaves nice and big, weaponize your plants in case an intruder comes home and you can just grab the moss pole of your plant like a baseball bat. And if you do use unique aspects of my moss pole design, like the interlacing of the wires and using the wick, the string, to attach the plant and pole to the bottom of the pot, please make sure to credit me. I would really appreciate it. I personally have never seen anyone use the string to secure it to the bottom of the pot. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you want to connect with me on other platforms and follow me on my plant journey, here are a list of ways. The lighting is really good in this spot, but I'm starting to get really sweaty, so I gotta go. Happy planting. See you next time.